In Kuma's kitchen, Christmas cooking has officially begun. We got our first batch of Christmas cookies, and these are Swiss Christmas cookies called Brunsli. Now they're called Brunsli, Brun for brown, and Lee because in Switzerland we tend to add Lee to the ends of things to cuten them. For example, my brother-in-law, when he comes to Switzerland, his name is Peter, but in Switzerland he's always Peterli. So, cute little cookies, fantastic because they're great to put on Christmas presents and things like that, make decorations with them. Also very tasty. You take a bite into this. It's chewy, nutty from the almonds, and there's this Kirsch in there, which just gives it an unbelievable flavor. Now, Kirsch, if you don't know what it is, I'm going to be talking about that in the kitchen, so we'll go over that. Now, one of the things that's great about this, if you are gluten intolerant, can't eat flour, there's no flour in these. However, if you have a nut allergy, But really easy to make. You throw everything into a food processor, zap it up, roll it out, cut the stars, and first of all you have to let them dry and then you bake them. Now, one warning, if you're going to make these, they need to dry overnight, so it'll make them the day before you actually want to eat them. Although I have eaten them unbaked and they are quite good that way. So let's go in the kitchen and make some right now. Okay, so to make our Brunsli, we're going to make them all right here in the food processor. Just a few ingredients. First of all is the almonds. And this is 340 grams or 12 ounces of almonds, a little over 2 cups if you want to measure them in a cup. Here I have 1.5 cups of white sugar. Yeah, I know usually I use the unrefined cane sugar. In this recipe I do use just straight out white sugar. 1.5 cups. A half cup of cocoa powder. 2 egg whites, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 2 tablespoons of Kirsch. Now, what is Kirsch? Kirsch is a liqueur you can find in most, actually all around the world. You can find this in your liquor store. It's either going to come under the name of Kirsch, Kirschwasser, or in this case, Kirsch liqueur. It comes from Switzerland, Austria. This one is actually made in Austria. And I believe they even make it in Germany. It's actually made from cherries. You can see here a couple little cherries on here. It's a liqueur made from cherries. It's quite strong. It adds a fantastic flavor to your Brunsli. Now, one of the other things that we'll be using is a little bit of, just call it granulated sugar. It's more granular than regular sugar. This will be used, it depends how much we need. Usually about 1/2 cup or so, depending. We use that for dusting the counter and rolling out the dough on and making the Brunsli. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the almonds. I'm just going to open this right up because it's easier to just pour them in like this. Add the almonds, and I'm going to run that food processor. This is going to get really noisy, so we'll have a little music instead. I'm going to run the food processor until these are basically coarsely ground. All right, so let's do that. All right, so looking inside, yeah, you can see that's basically a coarsely ground, perfect for our cookies. So now, I want to leave the top off, going to add in the sugar, the cocoa powder. Basically all the dry ingredients are going in right now. The cinnamon and the nutmeg. Going to run the processor again, just quickly to combine all those ingredients. Basically just pulse it a few times. All right, that's looking good. Now, with the processor running, I'm going to add in the egg white and the Kirsch. And then I'm just going to run it until it mixes together and you'll see the mixture start to clump together. Perfect. That's when you're done. All right, so here we go. All right, that's clumping together now. So what we're going to do, going to form this into a ball, and we want to put it on the counter. First we're going to do is get the counter ready by sprinkling some of the sugar around on it. So this is that granular, more granular sugar. A little clump there, let's get rid of that. Okay. Then I'm just going to pull some of this out. I find that doing about half at a time works pretty good. So I'll just get that mixed together. About that much right there. All right, see how that just forms together into a ball? Pat it down a bit like that. Slap it on here. Sprinkles a bit more sugar on top. This is a very sugar intensive recipe. All right, and then just what I'm going to do is roll it out until it's about a 1/2 inch or 12 millimeters thick. Doesn't have to be totally exact, but that's a good amount for the baking time that we're going to be doing tomorrow. All right, that looks about right there. Perfect. We want big, thick cookies. These are really delicious that way. So now all we do, star-shaped cookie cutter, and get in there, cut these out, a little push, there we go. Let's do another one. There. Now, one of the things I keep on hand is a bowl of warm water, because this is going to start sticking after a while. And you just give it a little rinse out in the warm water, and we're ready to go to cut more cookies. Now, once you cut out a batch of cookies, this here, this leftover can just be squished back together again, rolled out, make more cookies. Just keep repeating until you've made all the cookies. That one got a little misshapen. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put those cookies onto a baking tray. We don't need to leave much space. This is, by the way, an ungreased baking tray. This is just a dry baking tray. We don't need to leave much room between these because they don't really expand. So just kind of probably get a row of 4 in here. And what we're going to do is leave these on the baking tray. Oh, I damaged him. That's okay. We're going to leave these on the baking tray overnight to dry. And then tomorrow, they're going to go into the oven just for a short bake. All right, so I'm going to keep making more cookies and finish up all the dough. I have about a number of trays of cookies and let them dry overnight. See you tomorrow when we put them in the oven. So, these Brunsli have been drying overnight. I've got 2 trays of them. There's about 55 cookies we made. The oven's ready. The oven's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. These cookies are going to go in the oven now for 12 minutes. And that's it. They're ready for Christmas. All right, let's put them in the oven. All right, so these have just come out of the oven. They've been baking for 12 minutes. You notice they barely just puff up a little bit in the oven, and they're baked. They're a very solid, dense cookie, so you won't see much puffing up. All right, so now I'm going to let these sit here for about a minute or 2, and then move them to the cooling rack. Now, one of the things I find really easy to move these is just to use my favorite little mini cake icing spatula and just slip underneath there. They just come right off. Pop right off, pop them onto a cooling rack. I let them sit there for a minute or 2, they'll actually come off easier. All right, enjoy these. Have a fantastic Christmas with these. Great to give out as presents to people, great to put on presents, great just to eat. Enjoy. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen, you can get the free printable recipe on our website. You also find a real easy to follow along recipe infographic, which visually shows you steps in making these Brunsli. So, go print out the recipe, have fun making and eating Brunsli, and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.